Taxman here with episode 118 of our Strategic Command War in Europe with the Total Realism Project mod game against Old Crow Balthazor. This is the, I think it's the July 16th turn, but it's actually Old Crow's resignation, as you see here in the bold green type. He decided, or we decided, but mostly him, that it was not worth continuing because of what we feel to be the imbalance in the game. So, cue up the Lizard King. This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my old friend. The end. So let's get to see the playback. I don't know if he actually did his final turn or not, but we'll see the playback and then we'll go over everything with the fog of war lifted. This other game with the Maki fish, I'm playing the Axis. I will probably post some highlights. Not the whole thing, obviously not the whole thing. I've taken some highlight shots of period spots through the 1942 turns, and I'll post that, and I might also do the same for 1943. I've run into some of the same issues that Old Crow ran into with my game. I've done better and in a better position, but it's still falling apart. But anyway, I'll discuss that another time, and I'll actually post it up. So let's get started. Like I said, most of this is the. I think what happened is Lothos worked on this before he's now spends 90% of his time, if not more, on the world version. And I think he built this one. He built it to be balanced for an Axis player against an allied AI. And doing that, it made it imbalanced for multiplayer. I have a list of ideas. I don't know if I'll present that publicly in when I do my Machiavelli 1942 highlights or not, or I'll just post it on the Discord with him. I may just talk to him privately about it. Anyway, let's see if Old Crow actually did a turn or if he just resigned straight up. Yep, he just resigned straight up. The score is heavily weighted in his favor just because it's still 1943. You know, I'm not even at Minsk and Kiev, and I haven't taken Vichy, France, or Paris. I mean, Vichy or Paris. I just recently took Rome, so the score is tilted that because of that. This scorecard's not. I don't know. It leaves a lot to be desired. the way the designers built it. Okay, so let's just take a peek around. All right, he didn't have any. I was pretty sure he didn't have any subs out in here. I'm not sure how many subs he got left. He's got a banged up one over here. Another banged up one over here. It's a 5. There's one here. There's that battleship I hammered that happened to be sitting in port, and I got the intel on. There's another sub. There's a couple subs over here. This carrier's beat up. It must have run an interception. Alright, now let's go look at his, oh, he's got one way up here too. I wonder what he's doing, wonder what he was planning on doing with the subs there, other than just hiding them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess he was worried I was going to come in through here, and then he wanted to be able to counterattack or something. Germany had 760 money. And we had 1,000, 1,400. And that's Free France, which, you know, I don't count that because that's mostly stored. Alright, this wasn't really ever going to make it punch through. This was going to be very slow, and I was never making an effort to come through this way, so until this would have to collapse, which it will or would in time. Action points 3, 1, 2, 3. So none of this. He might have been able to. I'm seeing attack bombers 1, 2. I don't see enough firepower, I think, that could have cut this off. And he's got 2. This should be that. Yeah, it's a 0 supply. He's 2 attack bombers within range. I don't think. I don't think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's got, that would have been like probably 2 to 3 points, especially because they're less than full strength. He could have hit it and swapped, but he can't. If he brought 1, 2, no, these 3 guys could have hit it, but I don't think he could have taken it and moved in there. So that breakthrough was, I can't follow it up because I don't have any more troops, but that breakthrough did happen. This is the next thing in danger here, or this guy. This would have been repaired. Yeah, I think I'm probably just going to go around him. Again, it all depends. He didn't do a turn, so I don't know. You know, he would have had to fall back. This is the holes. He had holes here. He again probably have to fall back to this line because this tank is right on his artillery. I didn't have the juice to get. Maybe this probably could get this division. He might have killed him. But he didn't really have anything. This all has to fall back. Yeah, he doesn't have enough troops. Oh, there's another sub there too. I forgot about that guy. And he would have had to pull stuff out of Greece. 1, 2. This guy, maybe this guy. These guys probably should have had to leave Crete. There's really no sense in holding on to it anymore. Or he'd have to pull more stuff out of here. Yeah, he doesn't have. I didn't realize he had so little here. He's got this nasty tank. 2 nasty tanks there. 2 more over here. He's even with this little force, he's done pretty well at bottling up the Allies with this terrain, or the Western Allies with this terrain, but this is inadequate. This is going to get, particularly these miners down here, is just going to get overwhelmed. Right down here, this is weak. This is kind of strong. He'd be better off with the divisions or the light infantry here. I don't know why he's got a full-on corps in Reims. Yeah, and I wasn't, this isn't very strong. I was just planning to come up and hold a line because this isn't enough strength, and just use, you know, until the Italians started building Italian units. And I knew he had a lot of strength. Yeah, look, he's got building a fort here. I knew he had a lot of strength in here. So I knew I really wasn't going to be able to have an easy time getting through this. You know, it was going to be slowly pushing forwards. Let's see what I have on transports coming in. I had mountain and another headquarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and more fighters would have had to come push forward. There's 2 down here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. There's one here, 5. And then this guy, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Yep, I would have been bogged down here. And I'd have a real hard time moving forward without these, well, depends upon which of the things he's repaired between this and the fighters. This tank is coming down. Oh my God, he's got what? How many? 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got more tanks. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 tank corps. I've got 2, 3. Yeah, I would definitely slow me down. What do you have over here? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's only got 3 tank corps against Russia. Yeah, that would be a problem. That would be a big problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's more right here than all Germany has. 2 more. 1 here. There's a lot that needs to be repaired before making another big push. Another one here. Another one here needs to be repaired. Yeah, and this needs to be abandoned. And I think I don't think that was necessary. That could be a division or something light. Same with this guy. I like changing him out for something else. All right, let's take a look at you got 2 in Turkey, 1 in Colombia. All right, fine. So he gave up trying to push Switzerland. Yeah, it doesn't have any. Oh, Italy, I get a chit. I would have gotten a chit. I had 2 in Turkey, so I only have a 10% chance, and he would have blocked it. Okay. What else was I doing? That's one. Oh, USA only gets one. Same with Russia. That's right. Forgot about that. That's 10. France doesn't. France. I haven't pulled. France doesn't get one yet. And I had one in Spain. I had two in Turkey. Why is it? Oh, it's not giving me the total. So I would have a 10% chance to get each turn to get a hit in Turkey. It's not adding it all up like it does during the turn. All right. We'll take a look at the research. Germany is at 38% to anti-tank. Russia is at 46. US is at 58. And UK is at 61. What did Italy have when they joined the war? They had 2 on anti-tanks, 3 and almost 4 on fighters. Got put 1 in naval weapons, 1 in long range, 2 in subs, 2 in ground attack, 1 in ASW, which I'm not a big fan of for the Axis, but okay. 3 in AA, none in command and control. I don't like that. I think Italy really needs this tech. Infantry warfare, aerial warfare, naval warfare, 1 in amphib, 1 in transport, none, 1 in logistics. I mean, it's almost up to industry 3. I usually stop at industry 2 as the Axis because there's a certain point you can't expect any text to be paying for any text that's going to take mid 1943 or later to show up. You can't expect that to necessarily have that, and then it's likely just to become allied. All right, so anti-tanks, he's 40% at tank to tank 4. Russia's way ahead of him. U.S. is ahead of him to 25, and so was the UK. UK just got Advanced Fighters 4. US is closing in on Advanced Fighters 4. Russia's at 74. Italy was at 69, and Germany is at 66. So we had him on fighters. He's at long range 2 and halfway to 3. Long range is very nice for the Axis. I'm not sure they really absolutely need it. I mean, I understand the base game because it's even more useful in the base game in a lot of ways, but winds up being a lot of money. Yeah, we're about equal. 57. 64. U.S. was 1 point short of getting it. Uh, 60% to sub 3. The U.S. is already at ASW 3, and UK was closing in on it, 85%. So we had them advantage there. Ground attack 3, which we were partly well rate of 4. We had AA 3, which we had as well. As a matter of fact, the US is closing in on AA 4. 1 in amphib, 2 in transports, partly on the 3. You only had 3, and he didn't invest more in an industry. Russia was behind. Actually, this is scary. As powerful as my Russia was powerful because their mobilization was really high just before you started the war. So I had a big head jump on building stuff ahead of time, and that made part of the problem. But as you see, the U.S. is 3 and about halfway to 4. Same with the UK. Russia's lagging. All right, that does it about for tech. I will show off what I have coming in. So the UK had a Canadian mech, 2 divisions, 4 corps, 2 of which were South African, 5, 3 of which were South African, 6, 3 of each, and 1 tank which was partly, not completely, fully upgraded. That needs the artillery. Yeah, you have France, that's 3 French, had a mobile corps coming in August, yeah, July 16th. And the U.S. had a whole slew of troops. 2, 3, 4 corps, motorized corps, 2 divisions, the rebuilding the special forces that got killed, 2 more tanks, 1 needed to be upgraded, and 2 artillery and the engineer that got killed, another, the Brazilian tac bomber, and yet another armor. And it was all needed to, all needed down here because we were kind of outgunned, particularly with the tanks. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we only had 2, 3. Yeah, he's fully built out, and of course, the U.S. has ridiculous numbers. Yep. All right. Russia didn't have a whole lot because they were spending. It was summer, and they're spending most of their money repairing the damage for advancing. Still had 3 armor divisions coming, and we need. Oh yeah, that's right. We lost the armor corps, which we can't build back because we're over the limit at the time, and I stupidly lost that medium bomber, which was the bonus one over the limit. So it really wasn't a whole. The elite infantry needed to be bought back, and nothing else absolutely was required to be bought. Yeah, everything else was bonus or fluff. Yeah. Italy could have gotten 1 corps for cheap, a mountain corps, 1 mountain corps for cheap, and 1 maritime bomber for cheap. Oh, an anti-tank and an anti-air. Everything else would have been full price. And 1 headquarters. One of the worst ones, too. Germany has loads of units to be bought back. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4 elite corps. 5 of the light infantries, 2 mech divisions, armored train, yeah, 2 mech corps. He's got all of his armor except 1 division and 1 elite armor. Yeah, the bonus fighter. Never did build these guys, I don't think. Strat bomber. He must have used it and it must have been destroyed. And how many subs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what he had on his production spiral. He had nothing coming in this turn, but after that, the turn after, 3 light corps, an AA, 3 divisions, another light corps, 4 infantry corps, another AA. Those are the ones that I killed. And this Panzer. So he had one dead, and he could build yet another one. It's just not enough. I could see where he's getting. He's just not. I think this is more. I think he could have, instead of, he could shorten the line here. There, and Venice. And that could shorten a lot of this. That could have more over in Russia. Or another unit or two over here. Again, this looks heavy, but this is a lot of air. And there's not a whole lot that can deal with these tanks, and that artillery rips stuff apart as it moves forward. So yes, I'd still make some advancement, maybe particularly over this side. But it's tough getting through that. And it would be tough getting through that too. And I have no strength to be coming ashore over France. All right, let's quickly look at the reports. All right. Let's just quickly go over this. We didn't do a whole lot of convoy damage. He did. This is his sub losses, I guess. $1,300 in sub losses, and $846 we lost in that. So you lost a lot more, but that's not truly fair because you have to look at all those destroyers that he killed. We did 252 and took 512. Again, I'm not so sure it's fair because they're using them as strap bombers a lot to deal the entrenchment. Plunder. Yeah, it's the MPPs. And the national morale starting to leak downward. And this morale jumped up, it went down, it would go up again some more at some point. Yeah, we're taking huge losses for advancing. Let's look at the research. We spent 4,700 in research. Italy spent 2,600. 42, 57, 55. Yeah, 109, 125. Wow. All right. I think I've said everything I needed to say about this. So, this is 1943, and you can see these lines are kind of ridiculous. And his strength, it's literally the rest of this summer. If we played this out, this all has to rail. So this, at the very least, I'll be pushing on Riga. I imagine by the end of summer, I would have a line along. I probably even get the Riga because I don't. All this shit has to rail out, so you'd have to maybe along this line here, this river line, and then cut through here and down here at best. And this would all collapse all the way back to the Romanian border, if not further, if not down into here, into the mountains. That would be the bad part. The good news is this. I would not make much of it. I would not make too much of an advancement I would not make any advancement here. Probably none here. This is the limit. And I'd have a potential to push up this way and maybe up this way. Like again, there's just not enough units to take the casualties that it would require to go on the offensive, go strongly on the offensive over here. Yeah, I might make him fall back to this along here, Lyon, here. I can't swing too much this way because there's just not enough stuff there's just not enough land units. And we only got one more coming in. Yeah, and no threat for another Western front. Yeah, these guys need to pull back. I'd even give up. I'd leave a guy in Athens and Salonika. Yeah, because well, I can see him being worried about landing here, but there's just not enough. I just don't have enough troops, and also about landing back up in here to flank him, but don't have the troops to do it, and he doesn't know that. All right. Anyway, that's the end of the game, and we'll look forward to. We're going to try out a different mod. We're going to play test LSR's Crusade in Europe mod, which is on the division level. Old Crow already has some preliminary info where you can go look at the ginormous map. It's the same number of hexes as this map, but instead of having all of Africa, it's on the scale of basically it's an expanded version of what you would see on the base map. So it's much huger version of the conflict area. It's and it's on the division level, so it's going to be interesting. And I'll talk more about it at the intro there. It's a play test, so we're doing it mostly for LSR's purpose, to help balance the game and look for flaws and stuff. So I don't know how long it'll go, and we'll be putting up super quick and not having it probably won't. We'll be putting up turns as soon as we do them, so there will be gaps, and the whole reason we're doing that is, again, it's mostly for LSR's purposes. Anyway, this is I forget my sign off. Oh, being stupid. Now my advice for those that die: declare the pennies on your eyes. Taxman out.